Good evening and welcome. Tonight I'm going to be reading to you some bedtime stories, and all of them are set in Ghana. The first one I'm going to read to you is called The Spider Weaver, The Legend of Cloth, and it's by Margaret Musgrove and Julia Cairns. Then I'm going to read you One Hen by Katie Smith Milway, and illustrated by Eugenie Fernandez. Finally, I'm going to read you Emmanuel's Dream, The True Story of Emmanuel Ofosu Yeboah by Lorianne Thompson and Sean Qualls. I apologize for all the car sounds outside. I do live in a big city. As always, I'll edit out the worst ones. To some of you, maybe it's a little ambient, but we'll see how it goes. But let's read, or let me read to you actually, some relaxing bedtime stories set in Ghana. This is The Spider Weaver, and these books are really, really large, and I've been trying to get them into frame, and they're just too large, so I'm gonna focus on the pictures for you to look at. So, I can't get all the pictures and the words in, so I'm just gonna focus on the pictures and just read you a story. So here we go. Look at these quotes. Once, long ago, in the Ashanti village of Bonwire, was in the country of Ghana, there lived two expert weavers. One weaver was named Nana Koreko. The other was Nana Amiyo. These men wove simple cloth called Wen and Toma, and everyone, from the king of the Ashanti people to the lowliest apprentice, wore it. Late one night, Koreko and Amiyo went into the great Ashanti forest to check their traps for grass cutters, animals that they would bring home to roast. On this night, they found grass cutters in all three of their traps. The weavers were very thankful. Koreko and Amiyo were returning home when Amiyo stopped suddenly. The light from his lantern had fallen on an amazing sight, glowing like moonbeams against the midnight sky. "Come look, my friend," Amiyo whispered to Koreko. "I see a small miracle." The small miracle was actually a web, but never before had either of them seen such a wondrous design. Yet it had been woven with a single unbroken thread, a thread that was even finer than a strand of human hair. "Let's bring this treasure home with us to study," Koreko whispered to Amiyo. Amiyo carefully detached the web from where it held fast to a banana tree. But as he did, the web collapsed, sticking to his fingers. "Oh, it is ruined," Koreko cried. "Now how will we ever learn to weave this beautiful design?" Saddened, the weavers walked home. Their discovery was lost forever. When the men entered their village at dawn, Amiyo's wife, Afia, came out to meet them. Afia offered them a calabash filled with cool water to drink. Neither man spoke as he ate, and for this reason Afia could sense that something was wrong. "Please tell me what troubles you," she said. "It is a beautiful web," her husband answered sadly. "When we tried to bring it home from the forest to study, it crumpled in my hands and was ruined." "Do you think you can find another one like it?" Afia asked quietly. Koreko was doubtful. This web was very different, very special, and no creature ever spins the same web twice. Perhaps what happened was a blessing, Aphia suggested gently. Though you cannot find the same web again, perhaps you can find the same weaver. Elephants. And that is what Koregu and Ameyo set out to do. Early the next morning, they eagerly made their way through the bush. Past the tall silk cottons and papaya trees, they found the banana tree where they had first seen the extraordinary web. Sure enough, in front of them were the beginnings of a new masterpiece. In no time, a slender black leg emerged from the shadows and rested lightly on the silk threads. Ameyo and Koregu could see the creature clearly now. The master web weaver was a lovely, large, yellow and black spider. As soon as they saw the spider, the men felt terrible for wrecking the magnificent web the night before. Now they could see that the web was a beautiful spider's home. Longing to take the web home with them, the weavers looked at each other. But neither of them wanted to destroy the spider's home a second time. They were about to leave when the spider looked directly at them and began a weaving dance. Dip, twist, turn, and glide. The spider made her way across and back over the web. She moved like a woman dancing, regal and very graceful. The spider wove on and on into the afternoon, and the weaver stood still in admiration as they watched her. At dusk, the tired but satisfied spider completed her creation. It's kind of a cute spider. The spider moved sideways to the edge of her web, but before disappearing into the shadows, she turned in the direction of Ameyo and Koregu. In that brief moment, the men were quite certain she smiled at them. Then, in the blink of an eye, she was gone. The beautiful spider had shown the weavers how to weave new, intricate designs. What a wonderful teacher she had been. What a wonderful gift she had given them. With great joy, they returned to their village. In time, the weavers redesigned their looms so they could imitate the spider's weaving dance. At first, they copied her patterns in black and white thread, but soon they dyed their threads in bright colors and developed many new patterns themselves. And they named this new woven cloth Kente Wen Doma, what today is commonly called Kente cloth. Everyone in the village wanted to wear this new cloth, but at first, only the king of the Ashanti people wore it on special occasions. As time passed, others were allowed to wear the new cloth too. Soon the two weavers were well known across Ghana, and because of the spider's generous gift, they created designs and patterns that are still worn throughout the world today. Let me read to you a little bit about Kente cloth. The story in this book is widely known among the weavers in Ghana and dates back to the mid-17th century during the time of King Oti Akhenaten. Today, Kente cloth is worn all over the world, but most often by heads of state in different African countries. Even now, certain patterns are reserved for the Ashanti king. Ashanti chiefs will carry extra kente when they are all called together by the king. If they are wearing a pattern the king has chosen, they must immediately remove it and select another kente. In the United States of America and other countries with people of African descent, kente is often worn as a statement of pride in African heritage. Students frequently wear a strip of kente on their gowns when they graduate. Some fraternities and sororities have their Greek letters and colors woven into kente strips. Machine-woven kente is less expensive than the handmade cloth, but it is also less refined, and the colors are less vibrant. Kente is a beautiful and extremely expensive cloth. People almost never cut the strips of kente to make shirts or skirts. Instead, they wear one strip alone or many strips sewn together, making yards of kente cloth to drape around the body. Many patterns woven in kente cloth have significance. All of the traditional old patterns have meanings, which for the most part are proverbs. One man cannot rule a country is one of the translations. When heads of state and other dignitaries visit Ghana, often original kente designs are made for these visitors. In the Ashanti region of Ghana, you can still see yellow, red, and blue threads laid out to dry in the sun. There are fine handmade looms and asase and toma, apprentice weavers, who learn to gather their own dyes and process yarns for weaving kente. And like their masters and their masters' masters before them, they are told the story of how a beautiful spider shared her weaving secrets with two resourceful, expert weavers, and how she gave us the remarkable gift of kente one day long, long ago. It's really interesting, I think. The cute spider. I like that story, but I like all these stories. Alright, next we're going to read One Hen. How one small loan made a big difference. Here we go. One hen. And again, these pictures are really big, so they're really pretty too. This is Kojo. Kojo tugs the knot tight and hoists a bundle of firewood onto his head. Since his father died, he has had to quit school and help his mother collect wood to sell at the market. It is the last load of the day, and he is tired and hungry. Kojo and his mother live in a mud-walled house with an open fire for cooking. Beside it is a garden where they grow their own food. They never have much money or much to eat. As Kojo nears the house, he can smell his mother's fufu cooking, their main meal made from cassava and yams. He begins to walk faster. This is the loan that Kojo gets. Kojo and his mother live in a village in the Ashanti region of Ghana. None of the 20 families in the village have very much money, but they do have a good idea. Each family promises to save a bit of money so that one family can borrow all the savings to buy something important. The Anshampong family is first to borrow the money. They use it to buy 2 cartloads of fruit, which they sell for a profit at the market. When they pay back the loan, the Duodu family borrows the money to buy a second-hand sewing machine. They plan to turn the cloth they weave into shirts and dresses to sell. One day it is Kojo's mother's turn. She uses the loan to buy a cart so she can carry more firewood to market. She also hopes to rent the cart to people who need transport. There are a few coins left over. Kojo asks if he can have them to buy something for himself. He has a good idea too. This is the hen that Kojo buys with the loan he got. Kojo's idea is to buy a hen. He and his mother will eat some of the eggs it lays and sell the rest at the market. There is a farmer in a neighboring village with many hens, and Kojo will ask to buy one. It takes Kojo 2 hours to walk to the chicken farm. By the time he arrives, he is hot and dusty. He wonders how he will know which hen to choose. There are so many. Kojo tries to look over all the chickens. A white one, pecks the ground near his foot. Should he choose this hen? A speckled one flaps her wings and clucks. Perhaps she's the one. All at once, Kojo spies a plump brown hen with a bright red comb sitting in her nest and puffing out her feathers. She looks as if she would enjoy laying eggs. Now he doesn't have to think. He knows in his heart that she's the one. Kojo pays for the brown hen and puts her in a wicker basket. He gently covers the hen with a cloth and lifts the basket onto his head. As he walks home, he dreams about the future and sees a lot of eggs in it. Eggs to eat and, if he is lucky, eggs that he can sell to buy more hens. That night he puts the basket with the hen beside his bed mat to keep it safe. These are the eggs that Kojo sells from the hen he bought. Kojo makes a nest for his hen from an old wash powder box and checks it for eggs every day. On the first day he finds nothing. On the second, still no. But what is this? In the corner, under some straw, a smooth brown egg. Kojo's lucky. Indeed, his hen does seem to enjoy laying eggs. She lays 5 eggs the first week. Kojo and his mother eat 1 egg apiece, and he saves the other 3 for the market on Saturday. On market day, he walks among the stalls of fruit, vegetables, meats, kente cloths, and calabash bowls. He finds a good place to set down his small basket and call out for customers. Kojo sells 2 eggs to Ma Achimpong and 1 to Ma Duodu. He clutches his egg money tightly so he won't lose it. He's about to pack up his basket and go home when he finds another treasure, loose grains and bits of fallen fruit on the ground that he can feed his hen. Slowly, Kojo's egg money grows. After 2 months, he saves enough to pay his mother back. In 4 months, he has enough to buy another hen. Now Kojo can sell 5 eggs a week, and he and his mother have more to eat. After 6 months, he buys a 3rd hen, and he and his mother have an egg a day. Kojo's proud of his eggs, and his mother is proud of Kojo. Bit by bit, 1 small hen is making a big difference. These are the chickens Kojo buys with the money he got from selling the eggs. The little ones. 1 year later, Kojo has built up his flock to 25 hens. He thinks the sound of chickens clucking and skittering about their enclosure is better than the beating of festival drums. But collecting eggs from so many hens is hard work. His speckled hen tries to hide her eggs. Today he finds one under a cassava plant, and his white hens peck at him when he checks their nests. Then there is his brown hen with the bright red comb, his first, and still his favorite. She always seems to have a smooth brown egg for him. Selling eggs at the market has given Kojo some savings. Maybe he will use his egg money to build a fine wooden chicken coop. Maybe he will buy some things his mother needs, such as a new water bucket or a good knife. Or maybe he can pay for something he's been dreaming of. Fees and a uniform so he can go back to school. Your eggs have made us stronger, Kojo, says his mother. Now go to school and learn for both of us. This is the school Kojo attends with the fees he paid from the money he made selling his eggs. Kojo's uniform feels stiff and new as he walks to school. With each step, his lips move silently, reciting the ABCs and numbers he learned before his father died. In school, Kojo works hard to catch up with other students on reading and spelling and arithmetic. Later, he learns to write essays and solve math and science problems. And he learns about his country's history and its resources, and about other countries in Africa and around the world. There are practical lessons for country life too. how to filter drinking water with a cloth to remove parasites, how to use chicken manure and compost made from garbage to fertilize soil and grow vegetables. The lessons Kojo learns help him care for his chickens. His dreams are growing bigger, but now he sees that he will need more education to make them come true. Kojo studies even harder and wins a scholarship to an agricultural college to learn more about farming. His mother will care for his chickens while he is away. At college, Kojo's dreams start to take shape, the shape of a farm of his own. Ooh, it's kind of a spoiler. Let's look at the picture first. Oh. After Kojo finishes college, he decides to take a big risk. He will use all the money he and his mother have saved to start a real poultry farm. He buys a large plot of land and enough wood and wire to build chicken coops. Now he needs hens, 900 of them, to start the farm. He needs another loan, and a big one. This time, Kojo goes to a bank in Kumasi, a nearby town. When the banker hears that Kojo wants to buy 900 hens, he shakes his head. He does not want to lend money to a young man from a poor family. Kojo does not give up. He goes to the capital city, Accra, and visits the bank's headquarters. Kojo waits and waits to see the bank president. The bank is near closing when finally the president agrees to see him. But not for long. He's a busy man. Kojo tells the banker that he has schooling and will work hard. The banker has heard such stories before and frowns. Then Kojo tells him about the small loan and the brown hen and the egg money he has used to build his flock. The banker sits back in his chair. He taps his fingers together. This is not a story he hears every day. He smiles and nods. Kojo will get his loan. The banker and Kojo shake hands. Back home, Kojo buys his hens. Soon there will be eggs. So many eggs that he will need helpers to collect them all. So this is the farm Kojo builds, using the lessons he learned at college and a loan from the bank. And this is the family Kojo raises on the farm he built with money he made. Kojo's hens are good layers. There are more than enough eggs for his village, so he travels to Kumasi to sell to the shopkeepers there. One shopkeeper is called Lumo. Kojo knows him well. This man grew up in the same village that Kojo's father did, was his good friend. Kojo always goes to Lumo's shop last and sometimes stays for supper. He likes to hear stories about his father. And he likes the peanut stew and palm oil soup that Lumo's daughter makes. Her name is Lumusi, and she is a teacher. She has many stories about boys just like Kojo once was, boys who want to learn and who have big dreams. Kojo loves these stories, and he visits more and more often. He wishes he could hear Lumusi's stories every day. One day he asks if she will be his wife. Lumusi is proud to marry Kojo and join him on the farm. Soon Kojo and Lumusi are to be parents. As the years go by, they have 3 boys and 2 girls, all strong and clever. With the money from Kojo's eggs, they build a bigger house of cinder blocks and stucco. Kojo's mother comes to live with them and tend the garden. She will never have to sell firewood again. These are the people Kojo hires to work the farm he built. Before long, many people are working on Kojo's farm. Men come to feed the chickens and clean the coops. Women collect the eggs and pack them in boxes. Still other workers drive the eggs to markets in Kumasi and Accra. The workers have families. In all, 120 people depend on the wages from Kojo's farm. Families like the Odonkors have enough food to eat and money for their children's school fees. Ma Odonkor can buy medicine when her daughter Adika falls ill. Pa Odonkor can rebuild the walls of their mud home with cinder blocks. and buy wood-stamped Adinkra cloths for special occasions. The workers on Kojo's farm can even afford livestock of their own. Some families buy a goat, others a sheep, and some start with one brown hen. This is the town that grows as Kojo sells his eggs and pays his workers. Kojo's farm is now the largest in Ghana, and his town has grown too. Some people come to find jobs on the farm and build homes for their families. Others come to the town to open shops and sell wares to the workers. One day, as Kojo tallies his accounts, he hears a knock at the door. Adika Odonkor, all grown up now, is there. She greets Kojo and then holds out a small sack of coins. She tells Kojo that she has saved her wages. With just a bit more, she says she could buy a mechanical grain mill and start a small business helping families turn their grain into flour. Would it be possible to have a small loan? Kojo knows Adika's family well. They have worked on the farm many years. He likes this idea, but he makes Adika promise that one day she will loan money to another family. Adika agrees, and bit by bit, as one person helps another, the lives of many families in the town improve, and so do the lives of the children. More children have enough to eat, more children go to school, and more children are healthy. This is the country that grows as businesses like Kojo's and Adika's prosper. As the years pass, Kojo's poultry farm becomes the largest in all of West Africa. He is older now and a proud grandfather. His grandchildren visit often and help collect eggs. Where will this one go? They ask. And that one? To Bamako in Mali, Kojo replies. Or to Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. Kojo's workers pack thousands of eggs a day, and Kojo feels proud each time an egg truck pulls away to take food to families in neighboring countries. By now, Kojo has paid many taxes to the government of Ghana. So if his workers and the shopkeepers who sell his eggs, the government uses the tax money to build roads, schools, and health clinics across the country. It uses the money to improve the port at Accra, where ships from many countries come to trade. One more egg truck drives away, and Kojo looks down at his youngest grandson. The next time the boy asks Kojo where an egg will go, Kojo will say, "To your future, my child." And it all started with one small loan to buy one brown hen. This is the way that one young boy named Kojo, one small loan to buy one brown hen, eventually changed the lives of his family, his community, his town, and his country. It all started with a good idea and a small loan that made it come true. It all started with one hen. Let's read about the real Kojo. This is the story of Kwabena Darko, a real boy from Ghana's Ashanti region who really did lose his father and have to help his mother support his family. Kwabena was born to poor parents who lived in a small town not far from Kumasi in central Ghana. He lost his father at an early age and had to start buying and selling things to pay for school fees and help his family. Sometimes Kwabena's family did not know where their next meal would come from. When Kwabena's mother married a man with a small chicken farm, Kwabena learned how to care for hens. He won a scholarship to study poultry science at college in Israel and returned to Ghana to hone his farming skills. In 1967, he invested his life savings, less than $1,000, in land and chickens. Like Kojo, he needed a loan, and he too had to struggle to convince the bank to lend him money. Kwabena's business began to flourish, As he became successful, he never forgot how important it was to make loans available to people who wanted to start their own businesses. And he knew that banks were nervous about such loans. So he decided to start Sinapiapa, or Mustard Seed Trust, to give out loans. The loans were small, only about $200 each, but they made a big difference. In 2006, Sinapiapa provided loans to more than 50,000 Ghanaians, mostly for small businesses such as selling fruit or firewood, sewing clothes, baking snacks, transporting goods, or raising small livestock, like the hen that Kojo bought. A loan from Sinapiapa is made to a group of people. Each member receives a small amount of money, uses it to make more money, and then pays it back. The whole group ensures that the loan is repaid each time. About 90% of the people who receive loans are women like Kojo's mother. Today, Sinapiapa is part of the global microfinance nonprofit organization Opportunity International, and Kwabena Darko sits on the board of directors. I often tell people that when I was young and struggling, somebody gave me a chance, says Kwabena. All I want to do now is to be part of something that gives young people the same break I received. I like that story a lot. Makes me happy, but this one's my favorite one out of the bunch. Emmanuel's Dream. Here we go. Emmanuel's Dream, the true story of Emmanuel Ofosu Yeboah. In Ghana, West Africa, a baby boy was born. 2 bright eyes blinked in the light. 2 healthy lungs let out a powerful cry. 2 tiny fists opened and closed, but only 1 strong leg kicked. Most people thought he would be useless, or worse, a curse. His father left, never to return. But his mother had faith. Her name was Comfort, and she named her first child Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. As Emmanuel grew, Mama Comfort told him that he could have anything, but he would have to get it for himself. He learned to crawl and hop, to fetch water and climb coconut trees. He even shined shoes to earn money. Most kids with disabilities couldn't go to school. Still, Emmanuel's mother carried him there until one day she said, "You're too heavy." From then on, Emmanuel hopped to school and back 2 miles each way on 1 leg by himself. At first, nobody would play with him. So Emmanuel saved his money and bought something none of his classmates had, a brand new soccer ball. Of course he would share it, if he could play too. Lunging and spinning on crutches his grandmother had found for him, and kicking the ball with his good left foot, Emmanuel earned their respect. Goal. His new friends sometimes used their lunch money to rent bikes. Would Emmanuel be able to join them? His friend Godwin pushed him fast so he could balance. Over and over again, Emmanuel fell hard. But finally, he rode. When Emmanuel was 13, Mama Comfort got very sick. She could no longer sell vegetables at the market, and Emmanuel's sister and brother were too little to work. He would have to support them. Against his mother's wishes, Emmanuel snuck out and boarded a midnight train to the bustling city of Accra, 150 miles away, alone. He didn't know it then, but it would be 2 years before he saw his family again. Emmanuel arrived full of hope, There were so many people, but no one would hire him. Shopkeepers and restaurant owners told him to go out and beg like other disabled people did. Emmanuel refused. Finally, a food stand owner offered him a job and a place to live. When Emmanuel wasn't serving drinks, he kept busy shining shoes. He earned money and sent it home. One morning, when Emmanuel went to buy shoe shining supplies, the shopkeeper thought he was there to beg and scolded him. Insulted, Emmanuel slammed his money down on the counter. The shopkeeper apologized, but Emmanuel would never forget. When Mama Comfort grew sicker, Emmanuel went home to be with her. From her bed on Christmas Eve, she told her son, "Be respectful, take care of your family, don't ever beg, and don't give up." By the next morning, Emmanuel's beloved mother was dead. He was heartbroken, but he knew her last words had been a gift. He would honor them by showing everyone that being disabled does not mean being unable. It was a big dream, but Emmanuel had a plan. Emmanuel had a sharp mind, a bold heart, and one strong leg. All he needed was a bike. At first, no one would help. They thought his plan, to bicycle around Ghana, was impossible. Then Emmanuel wrote to the Challenged Athletes Foundation, all the way in San Diego, California. They sent him a bike, plus a helmet, shorts, socks, and gloves. Emmanuel started training for the long ride. He persuaded the king of his region to give him a royal blessing. He went door to door asking for additional support. Finally, he hired a taxi to follow him with drinking water, a camera, and his best friends. Then Emmanuel tied his right leg to the bike's frame, jammed his left foot into a flip-flop attached to the pedal, and rode. Emmanuel pedaled through the bustling city of Accra. He pedaled through rainforests, over rolling hills, and across wide, muddy rivers. He pedaled past opium forests and plantain farms and through the market city of Kumasi. He pedaled as trucks roared past on the narrow highways and wild animals stalked his thoughts. He pedaled through vast grasslands and through the ancient city of Tamale. He rode up, down, across, and around his country, proudly wearing the colors of its flag on a shirt printed with the words, "The Pozo," or the disabled person. Along the way, Emmanuel talked to those with physical challenges and those without, to poor farm workers and wealthy landowners, to religious leaders, government officials, and reporters. He wanted everyone to see him and his disability. He wanted everyone to hear him and his message. The farther Emmanuel rode, the more attention he got. Children cheered. Able-bodied adults ran or rode along with him. People with disabilities left their homes and came outside, some for the very first time. The young man once thought of as cursed was becoming a national hero. He completed his astounding journey, pedaling south to the sea and back up to Accra, nearly 400 miles in just 10 days. But Emmanuel's success goes even further than that. He proved that one leg is enough to do great things, and one person is enough to change the world. Let's read a little more about him. A quote from him is, "In this world we are not perfect, We can only do our best. Emmanuel still isn't giving up. Since completing his first long-distance bike ride across Ghana in 2001, at the age of 24, he has competed in major athletic events, won international awards from Nike and ESPN, and carried the Olympic torch in Cairo, Egypt in 2004. He starred in a documentary about his life called Emmanuel's Gift, and he appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. In 2006, thanks in large part to Emmanuel's bike ride and his continued political activism, the Ghanaian Parliament passed the Persons with Disability Act, which states that people with physical disabilities are entitled to all of the same rights as the rest of the country's citizens. I am very happy for my disabled brothers and sisters in Ghana, said Emmanuel, but this is just the beginning. Today, Emmanuel continues to work on behalf of the disabled. He maintains a scholarship fund to help children with disabilities attend school, and he helps organizations distribute wheelchairs to those in need. In addition, he works closely with Ghana's government to pass laws protecting the rights of disabled citizens, and he speaks to political leaders, independent organizations, and school children around the world to deliver the message that disability does not mean inability. That's the end. So, I hope you enjoyed your bedtime stories. My cat's here to try to ruin the shot. The camera's placed at an awkward angle where he can't really get onto the desk. So he's giving up. All right. Not today, kitty. Not today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very good night. Have some good sleep. Get some good rest. And I'll see you tomorrow for some more stories. For some legends. A very particular legend. You might be seeing some more spiders. Actually, you are going to see